Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you're all well. In today's video, we're going to be checking out ARMA REFORGER again, but this time having a more in-depth look at the actual Enfusion engine. I took some time to explore the new REFORGER map and the Enfusion engine. I was really impressed with what I actually saw. I mean, if you didn't know that this was ARMA, this could be like some new Frostbite game, Far Cry, something like that, couldn't it? Looks pretty cool. In the name of science, I even swam out into a lake to get a better view. I also like how your clothes get wet, but as soon as you get out of the water they just instantly dry, but the wet effect is actually really cool. Looks nice, doesn't it? Have a little look around. I was really impressed with the volumetric clouds. They leave like real-time shadows on the ground as they move overhead. And that really adds something to the game. It just makes it feel sort of more realistic. The lighting and the clouds, the smoke, all that sort of thing, it is really nice in the game actually now. If you look down that hill, that's that lake that we just took a swim in. I have the view distance set at like 2 kilometers. I don't know if you guys played the old ARMA, but in my opinion, the thing that made the biggest difference to how the game performed was the view distance. The lower you put that view distance, like the better it run. But you can be at a bit of a slight disadvantage with that. Like if you're using like tow missiles and someone's like 2 or 3 kilometers away, you know, if you got it set further, obviously you can hit them. But also I found out that turning off picture in picture in the old ARMA like gave better performance. You know, like picture in picture is like reflections in the mirrors. If you look in the mirror, you see like a, you know, the reflection. That made a huge difference as well. I'm not too sure if it does on the Enfusion engine too. It's so cool to explore a new map. I just kept imagining having like planes and choppers flying overhead, and in the distance hearing like explosions and gunfire. Like, it's pretty cool. I can't say 100% there is no performance issues with ARMA REFORGER and the Enfusion engine. There definitely is. There is some slight, like when you first load into the map, it can take time to render all the buildings. It has always been like that in ARMA. Like when you first spawn in, like things render around you quite slowly sometimes. It could be my CPU, I'm not 100% sure. But there's definitely some performance issues, even when you're all loaded in. And, you know, there's a few odd stutters and things like that. I'm sure in time they're ironing them out. Also, what's really cool is in the Zeus settings of the game, it's really nice to just change the time of day, like day and night settings, and check out some of the sunrises and sunsets and like the different weather conditions. Very, very impressed with kind of like at sunrise you get like this hue, like this orange hue, and I don't know, it just looks, it definitely looks a lot like DayZ standalone. Also, something that isn't officially in the game at the moment, but it is actually in the source code, is a way of having completely destructible environments. This is a mod like showing that at the moment, but it's quite exciting to know that every building is going to be destructible. I also really like the new animations in ARMA REFORGER, like the animations getting into vehicles like this. When you get into this APC, you can see that you pull down like a little step when you get into it. And as normal for ARMA players, which is really cool, and I always do really like to see, is the instruments. When you start up a vehicle, all the instruments go up, like the oil pressure, the gas, and they actually, you know, like if you're running out of gas, they actually lower. If your engine gets damaged, the light comes on, you lose oil, stuff like that, which I think is really cool. I used to like all that. So I think on the whole, the vehicles do look really good. It takes a little bit in getting used to using the F key to change seats. So I thought I'd get into the gunner and shoot some of the other vehicles just to see what it looked like. For science, you know? I think the fire definitely looked better than it did in Arma 3. I don't actually think there's any explosions in Arma Reforger. It'd be cool to actually see what the explosions look like. I think at the moment the vehicles just catch fire after you shoot them, then the fire dies out. I think. I don't think there's explosions at the moment. It seems like a few things in Reforger that they've got in the source code, but they're not actually using at the moment. So it'd be really interesting to see how the game changes in like sort of, you know, 6 months, something like that. So then I loaded in some AI into the town, which can definitely hit the performance as well, to see what it feels like to get shot at by like 30, 40 guys. Turned out it wasn't good. I honestly thought I could make it out this town alive. They just absolutely annihilated me. So after getting absolutely slaughtered by them evil AI, I then wanted to check out this castle at sunrise. To be honest, it looked beautiful. It gave me the vibes of like me and Frankie in an old Arma 3 video, like up in Zub Castle where we had a tent and stuff. And I really got the feeling of like role players would love this type of environment. Very, very cool. After the most recent update to Reforger, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I definitely got a performance update. I've talked to some of my other friends and they didn't really feel it. But I'd be really interested if you guys got a performance update over the last week or so with the update on Steam. I'm running an i7 700K and a 2070 Super graphics card, and I definitely felt an increase, maybe 20% increase in performance. Combat actually feels really, really decent. Like, it genuinely feels really good now. Before it was a little bit, I don't know, stuttery sometimes, but now it just feels super, super smooth. The combat overall does feel really solid. There was a few occasions where I couldn't shoot someone through like invisible terrain, like if you lay down and they're the other side of like a hump, you know, like some dirt. Sometimes where your crosshair is on them, but there's like invisible terrain that stops you shooting. So I definitely noticed that. The ragdoll effects are really, really cool. The blood is really cool. The sound is phenomenal. I really noticed when transitioning from inside buildings to outside buildings, your footsteps will change tone, and also like the sound of your gun changes, which also I think adds a whole new level of like immersiveness into it. Like, I love things like that. I must say, I really got Escape from Tarkov vibes. Do you guys get that when you see this footage? Like when you're inside, you know, I don't know. I definitely got Escape from Tarkov vibes, like the blood around the screen and just the way it feels. But very, very impressed with the combat. And towards the end of me looking around, you know, checking out the Enfusion engine, the maps, stuff like that, how it performs, I then went into this mission, and I've got to say, I actually forgot that I was recording a video. And I really genuinely got these old school Arma vibes, like the excitement of when I first ever got into combat in Arma. Just have a little look at the shadows and the environment as we're approaching these AI. It's really impressive. And especially this little bit of footage here, I found myself like hearing all these gunshots in the distance and then creeping up to where it was all kicking off. And just the sounds of all these guns firing, and it wasn't lagging, it was running real nice. And then when I aimed down sights of the big heavy machine gun, I could see like the enemy laying down, and just this little moment here felt fantastic. It genuinely did. And I actually forgot that I was making a video. And also, right at the end here, when I was sort of stuck down in this little gully with enemies shooting over my head, and how realistic it looked and the sounds, it really genuinely felt something special. And I really felt the potential of what this whole game and this engine can offer. I mean, it looks amazing. And like when some guy shot me when I was down in that gully, I literally panicked. And then I saw these two guys at the side and like shot them. But yeah, moments like that, you just think, wow, if they can sort out this performance, sort out the servers, this is a genuinely amazing game. I mean, just listen to all these gunshots in the distance. If that doesn't float your boat, I don't know what does as an Arma player. Sounds 10 out of 10, really good in Arma Reforger. Super can't wait to play on a big, expansive, open map with, 80, 90 other players, and all I'm hearing is gunshots, explosions, rockets, choppers, jets. Oh God, I hope that day comes, and I'm sure it will. So, in summary of the Enfusion engine and ARMA REFORGER, I think I can probably give it one of the best ratings that I could. And that was, I forgot that I was making a video. And at the end, I was just having fun in the game. And I think that speaks volumes. I was genuinely happy just shooting into a wall and quite amazed at how cool it looked. And quite amazed at all the sounds and everything. So, ARMA REFORGER, I'm enjoying it. This definitely does need some work with servers disconnecting when you play multiplayer online. And slight little performance issues. But, this is early days, and I really do think it's going to be fantastic in the end. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts if you felt any performance increases, or you've been enjoying ARMA REFORGER, how it looks. Give me your thoughts, guys. I'm always genuinely interested in what you've got to say. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.